Hello, and welcome back to the Rebel Mama podcast. I'm Nikita Stanley.
And I'm Aleks Jassem.
And today we get to talk about one of our favorite topics.
Food. We love food. Who doesn't love food?
We love it a lot, actually. And we're going to talk about all the magical ways that it relates to pleasure. And to do that with us today, we have a very special guest in studio. Welcome, Diala.
Thank you guys. I've been looking forward to being here for so long. So I'm glad that it finally.
Yes, we're so happy too. And this is one of our favorite topics.
Okay.
So we're excited to dive in.
Awesome.
We're going to leave hungry for sure.
I know. We should have lunch plans sorted for after, because we are going to leave here really hungry. But we're going to run through your little bio first. So for anybody that doesn't know you, Diala Canelo, did I say that right?
Yeah, that's very good.
Is a recipe creator and the writer of Diala's Kitchen, a food and travel blog turned cookbook where she shares recipes inspired by her trips around the world. She grew up near the sea in the Dominican Republic and later moved to Canada, where she fell in love with all things cooking and baking. She graduated from Le Cordon Bleu in Mexico City, where she obtained a grand diploma in pastry and bread making. Her diverse travel experience as a flight attendant have given her the chance to taste food from many different cultures and share her gorgeous photography. Diala has been featured on Food 52, The Feed, and Flair magazine. She lives near Toronto, Canada, with her daughters, Isabella and Gabriella, her partner, Warren, and their two pets, Oliver and Blue.
So cute, those
And
names.
Frankie. Now we have another cat.
There's a third.
Yeah, and now I'm in Cinder. I live near you in the beaches, and I absolutely love it.
You're in the city. It
now.
says near Toronto, but you're in
'Cause I
Toronto.
used to be west. But I love being here. I love the neighborhood. I always thought that I was going to see myself in the West End, and I am absolutely not.
Where were you in the West?
Oh, I was like outside of the West. I was just like near Hamilton. So
so that's
it
like
was
west.
a lot. But working in the airport, having all my friends here, I used to come to the city all the time, and now I'm just
That's
great.
great.
You're just here.
Living my best life. I love it. I
Yeah.
love the quiet. You
Yeah.
know, I love going to the West End for food sometimes, but then coming to my peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Again,
I know we were saying before that like you live near the beach, but it's not really the same kind of beach.
It is not the same. Even yesterday when I went for a walk, I'm like, this is not Las Terrenas, or I was just.
At least in the
But I'll
summer, it's
take
like
it.
40 degrees and disgusting.
Yeah,
so
I'll take it. It's nice, the boardwalk, and even when I'm anxious, sometimes I just go down there and I
that's
stare
my
at the
go-to.
water.
Yeah, it's
right?
so nice to live by the lake, and like
yeah.
I hop on my bike and I get down to the beach, and it feels good to be.
So I think we're really, really lucky
Yeah.
to live in this part of town.
Yes, I'm happy to visit.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Exactly.
she lives in the West End, but we
Exactly.
visit
Oh,
each
you're
other, and
West End.
between us, we cover the whole city, so it works out.
Yeah.
And we're still in the city. Like,
Yeah.
I feel
Yes.
like, imagine you actually lived like far
No.
west, like
No.
Mississauga or Brampton. I'd be like, see you never.
No, and with this traffic, even east and west, like the
No,
traffic
we-
you have. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you guys have it figured out. Like
We're
the good
aware.
Oh,
times.
we're like timed to the T with the traffic.
Yeah.
But still, it's always, and I feel like also we've accepted it now. We used to fight it a lot more, and Torontonians have
have
come to
to.
like an understanding
And,
that like
know,
it's part of our lives now.
I was
so we're just gonna
talking,
be patient.
I was talking to one of my kids, and I think that is the source of all unhappiness. Like
Traffic?
it is, well,
Yeah.
noise. It is,
No,
but no,
pushing up
you know,
against it,
not
resisting.
accepting
Yes.
it. Like we can all complain,
Yes.
but the reality is that the traffic is here to stay.
Yeah.
So usually when I have to go to the airport, I know it's gonna be
extra
traffic.
time.
I do extra time. I take GABA, which is like a natural supplement. You can find it anywhere. I put a good playlist and off I go, because what am I going to do? Like
Yeah.
What does that
complain?
supplement do for you?
GABA, my naturopath recommended it. It's just basically
Chills you out in
it
traffic.
chills you out. It's not a
As
CBD.
if you have to medicate yourself to
Exactly.
get through Toronto
Literally,
traffic right now.
literally, it's not a CBD. It's just like, look it up, GABA.
Okay.
It's really
Okay,
good.
we'll
But
look it
yeah,
up.
it's great for, making you drive, not wanting to like die in the meantime. So
Okay, perfect.
It's
We're going to
good.
have to
There
add
you
that to
go.
our shopping
There
list
you-
because
there you
we'd
go.
be well served.
yeah.
We want to hear your foodie origin story.
Oh my God.
What
It's long.
what started your love affair?
So growing up in Dominican Republic, my family, my grandfather comes from a long, lineage of farming. So we always had really fresh food. I remember the first time I went to a friend of mine and they had like box mashed potatoes. And I'm like, what is that? It was so exciting. And yeah, we always had fresh food, so like huge family meals on Sundays. But I really didn't want to get myself involved in the kitchen. I was a teen. I was, partying with my friends. Then I moved to Montreal to go to university. I didn't know how to cook a thing, probably spaghetti with like tomato sauce, jarred. And living in Montreal opened my eyes to so many cultures from around the world. Like it was insane.
And they have a great food scene.
Yeah, in
Always
front
had.
of my first campus, I did a year at Concordia and the rest of McGill. At Concordia, I had Amir, which is, Lebanese food. And then one day I was having Asian. One day it was like mind blowing to me. And I was like, what are all of these flavors? I need to cook. I need to cook. So I would like finish school, go home and start just like cooking. Like I taught myself recipes, improvising, baking a lot. And since then I've been cooking nonstop forever.
It was within you already.
Yeah,
That it was just the
within
spark.
me. But I think what made it so was just being exposed to all of a sudden, all of these cultures were there for me to try. And it was really exciting.
So what did you go to school to study?
Nutrition and dietetics.
Okay.
Nutrition and dietetics. So
you were
yeah,
on your way.
I was on my way. My dad is a doctor and he alternates like traditional medicine with Chinese medicine. So I was always interested in health. And yeah, it's been great. But Montreal, I'll never forget those 6 years living there, literally eating my way.
The food in Montreal is pretty amazing.
It's insane.
And we have caught up, but I feel like in those days, if you're talking about when I think
The
you're talking
90s,
about,
yeah,
then,
it was mid-90s, it was Montreal.
Toronto wasn't there yet really on the food scene the way it is now.
I moved
and Montreal was like the spot.
I moved to Toronto in the year 2000. So Montreal was incredible.
Yeah, that was the
So that's
spot.
how it started.
That's amazing. Okay, so let's talk about pleasure as it relates to food, which is really why we're here today.
Yeah.
So food is such an interesting thing because it ignites all the senses,
Everything.
right? So what aspect of food do you derive the most pleasure from?
I think I love the journey into, gathering my ingredients and cooking, and especially when I'm cooking with my kids. I think it's super fun. We put a vinyl and we're, prepping all together. But I think it's just sitting at that table and just having that first bite, especially if it's something new that we haven't tried. But then I think it's watching them eat. Like, look at my kids eat, and everybody's like,
Stare
like,
at them.
Yeah, when they start making the yummy noises.
exactly. When they start, that is just like, okay, my job here is done.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yeah, like that. Just like seeing their faces. I think pretty much sharing that food, sharing that experience with people. It can be your family, but it can be your friends, people that you love. It like brings the whole process of making something together and like worthwhile.
Yeah.
Eating on your own is fine, like, but just eating with people that you love, preparing it, seeing them take that first taste. I think that's pretty grand to me.
And I feel like I find when I cook for myself, it's totally not the same as when I cook
It's
for my
not the
family or friends. I
same.
put so much more love and
Exactly.
thoughtfulness into it. And like, I'm in the zone. For me, I'm like, I'll just eat a piece of bread with some brie. And
Basically,
I'm
it's
good.
not like you don't put the
lazy.
intention into feeding yourself. You do, but like when you're doing it for family and friends, you take more care.
Yeah.
And it's more intentional, I find.
And then you
So-
gather around the table. And
Yeah.
that's such a nice
And that's
thing.
good. And that's something that, I'm not going to say we've lost it, because I think some families still do. But, people are working. Not everybody can sit at the table.
Well, and
at
you
the
have to
same
be a
time.
little bit more intentional with it now. So it is that thing of
Exactly.
like phones away. Like, let's eat together, talk
Yeah.
together. Like,
You
find
have
meaning
to.
in the food too, and like not rush it.
And you
That's the
have to,
other
and
thing.
with people that have small kids, I think it's just perfect to start that like device away right away,
Yeah.
because then it gets more difficult, and
Absolutely.
that's when really good conversations. Even if you ask like, "How was your day today?" A lot of like major things have come out of that at home.
Absolutely. And even restaurants, I found that it is a lot when you have younger kids, when you have toddlers, it is a lot easier to put an iPad in front of them when you're at a restaurant. But I
God.
hate it. And we
Me
never did
too.
it. And it was 1,000 times more difficult because of that, because we have to
Yeah.
keep them engaged and give them crayons and make sure they're not splashing everything. And
Exactly.
but in the end, it worked out perfectly because now he's got that thing in his mind where he's like, I'm at a restaurant, I'm present here. Like it doesn't even, there's nothing in his mind that says I need a screen here right now.
And not only that, we look at it that way, but then later on, those kids become like, my kids are 21 and 26. Those are the kids that then are present enough to carry a conversation with a 2-year-old or with a 73-year-old.
Totally.
Because they are not just mesmerized by whatever they are looking, they are observing, they come with their own questioning. So yeah.
And like talking to the waiter, keeping eye contact, all those little things, nuances when you're at a restaurant.
Yeah. My mom always says that you eat with your eyes first.
You do.
So she's always very concerned with how the meal looks and the presentation.
I can so see that
Absolutely.
with your mom.
That is key. Like in my country too, like everything that is served, like now I was there for a couple of weeks and every meal at noon was like beautifully presented and like you see it and you're like, oh, like how lucky I am. Nothing is just thrown. Nobody's eating like out of a pot, like just serving it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I think everything we're visual. Like we need to see.
It's a love language.
It is a love language, 100%. 100%. I love it.
Look at us. We're so
We're like, where can we go? Where can we go eat after?
In love with each other.
We need more restaurants that open at noon.
I know. Yes.
We do.
I agree.
I know they do open a little bit late, like the whole 5 o'clock thing.
I know.
Crazy.
But
come on, guys, we're ready to eat all day.
We're like, give us
something. I don't
something.
care if it's pasta.
Okay.
No, are you kidding me? We love pasta. Pasta all day. So you just said you just got back from the DR.
Yeah.
What's the best meal you ate there?
I like even before I land, they know that the first thing that I want to eat is called asopao de camarones. So asopao de camarones, picture a risotto but soupier. Okay. So it's tomato based, tons of cilantro because cilantro is like talking about love language. Cilantro is our love language.
We have that in one of our questions.
You know, top lots of cilantro, tomato based, risotto-ish, soupier. Started with super plump shrimp. And it's just a joy.
It kind of sounds like paella too.
Yeah, but it's like very soupier. I'll show you a picture after soupier, and then people, it doesn't go together, but fried plantains with us is like with everything.
I'm
fried
Jamaican,
plantains,
so
right?
Fried
plantains, and then a couple of slices of avocado on top, and that will be like my last meal. If I could have that, that will be it. So yeah, you need to have a asopao de camarones.
Well, now we know her last meal.
Yeah, it sounds delish. I'm in.
Okay, so let's talk about the opposite of pleasure just for 1 second because we got ahead of ourselves there. We're getting so excited. Sometimes guilt comes up a lot in conversations about food, especially around the holidays, especially when you're eating a lot. How do you find this like as a North American phenomenon versus anything else? And like,
and I will say too, it comes up especially about women. Like, I don't see my husband, I don't see any
the guys don't seem to care. They just pick up and sit on their
they eat, you know, they like whatever, and it just maybe it bothers them, but they don't show it. I have a lot to say about that because I think, again, growing up in Dominican, that was never a thing. Might be a thing now. Times, have changed. It was never a thing. And I really cannot stand it.
Do you see it here a lot with people?
I see it all the time. And you know what? The saddest thing is I see it with girls that are in their teens. They're 13, they're 12. Like the conversations that I've heard are like heartbreaking. So I don't know, just like kids that are 12, they haven't even fully developed yet. And they're called, and they have they think they have a belly. And another thing, social media has brought that even more because everybody's, at that age, we had magazines, they're comparing themselves to people that probably have even altered their bodies. So there's this pressure by society of look at a certain way. I'm actually glad that the Barbie movie sort of, touch on that. But food is such a beautiful thing. Why have we have to punish ourselves by not, enjoying that present moment, eating healthily? I will say, I love cake, I love ice cream. There's no way I'm not going to have it.
Me too.
I will have it. I do have an active lifestyle. I've been working out. I run track in high school. I love working out. And I'm not going to lie, at the beginning of my 20s, I was working out because I wanted to be in shape. Now, my brain needs the working out. So when it comes to food, I can't. I just I'm so glad that I was raised in a culture that promoted eating together, just not having any, hangouts around food.
And you're preparing it yourself. And it's whole foods. It's much different than if you were eating fast food all the time, right?
Exactly, because there's a balance. There's like from 1 to 10. Of course, if you're gonna eat like burgers every day, well, that's not even good. Not aesthetically, but for your health.
Yeah,
for your health. And we have kids. Cooking with your kids, if they're interested a little bit or not, or cooking around them, is a great way to take that guilt away. There are some partnerships that have reached out to me, and the word guilt and guilt-free is in there, and I'm like, absolutely, I'm not gonna say guilt-free
treats,
exactly,
or like whatever. You
that
don't even need to put
me.
guilt on the table.
Why? And I'm actually interested. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of research on how did that actually started, and I'm pretty sure that we can put it back to like ages and ages. So no guilt over here. And I try to talk about it with friends and with friends that have little kids as much as I can, because it can be very damaging. Plus, not to say, even like from 2020, from the pandemic, the rise of eating disorders, especially in teens, is astronomical. And I've had, people closer to me that have dealt with that. And it's pretty sad.
Yeah.
That's
so
scary.
No, we have this one life.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds very cliche, but we really, really have to make an effort to enjoy, because some people are there, like, and not to be a downer, but they are, in a bed and can move, and we're here, chastising ourselves because we're eating a bag of chips.
Well, and you have to set a good example for your kids, I think, too.
Exactly.
They really watch the way you talk to yourself about your own body and how you eat. So if you're enjoying the food, and if I have a burger and fries one day, like, and I balance it out with healthy food the next day, and like we have a good balance, and I don't want him to ever see me or hear me feel guilty about
and it affects
eating.
like, people think it's a girl thing, but it affects boys the same way. So not only the way that we talk about food, but the way that we act, because as we all know, they watch everything, right?
Yeah.
So that's not in my vocabulary, and I'm a super advocate to like talk about it as much as I can. It's just so damaging.
And it's language too, like the fact that guilt-free has been used in marketing language for so long. It's like that does you in the head too.
Like, why are you guys doing this?
You're introducing the word guilt, and for what?
Right
like,
away.
what? I didn't know I was feeling guilty until you told me this was guilt-free.
Everywhere I go, like, I'm gonna have my dessert, and that's it, and enjoy it.
There's a great Fran Lebowitz quote. Somebody asked her what her guilty pleasure was. Do you know this one?
Yeah.
And she goes, I don't believe in guilty pleasures because my pleasure never makes me feel guilty.
Exactly.
How beautiful is that?
Yeah.
Deep and profound, and it's just reality. And when you come to think about these things, I go like, who in what book is it written that we have to feel this way? Who made these rules? And then we all followed.
Know where it started.
Exactly. And we all followed probably like in the freaking 1600s. I don't know, like, because the expectations on like with women have been right. So
probably when processed food was introduced, probably like in the 50s.
True.
And also like as a marketing angle, right? So like they're like,
that's when marketing became a thing to
but
market.
Wasn't there like this Vogue
foods.
kind of diet thing that it was like 2 glasses of wine and like and I'm like, oh,
it was like vodka and
wine is
bag.
amazing, but like
the model diet.
Like that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, we've come a long way at least since then. Like God knows they'd never put anything out in print like that now. So that's a good thing, but we still have a battle ahead of us. And like with social media and kids online and what
we
they're
still
seeing
have to, because like we live in a world of viral and trends, right? So you have to have your eyes open, because the way that I see things, society in a way gets into our head in a way that we're not even aware sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. When I turned 50 last January, I've always been pro-age and I've always felt like great with my age. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks before, I'm like, don't feel like really like great 50. And then like I snapped out of it and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm healthy. My family's healthy. I feel probably better than ever.
Yeah.
What is this? And then of course you're tying it back to everything you hear.
Yeah.
That, it's downhill or it's whatever. Says who?
And it's energy.
Says
and not
what you
age,
hear.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. Says what you hear. That's where the idea is coming from. And then it's sitting in your mind dormant until 2 weeks before you turn 50.
But it's good that you can stop and reflect on it and like
right
really
away,
look
I'm
at
like,
it.
fuck this. Like, no.
What's the alternative?
Exactly.
It's not good.
Exactly. It's not good.
Yeah, we'll take aging any day over.
Yeah, and things
not.
have changed. People still have those memories of women that were literally 35 in their 80s and they look like they were 74.
Yes.
So-
Also, I think it's helpful to look at it and say when you're 70, you're going to look back at yourself when you were 50 and say, oh my God, I was so young and beautiful. What an idiot I was for wasting that time thinking like that. So like,
and there are so many other things that we have to be
Yeah.
concerned with, to be
Yes.
quite honest. Like we just have to look inwards a little bit more.
Mhm.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's pause for a quick break here,
Okay.
and we'll be right back with more from Diala.
what's in our cups? Probably INE Plus Nutrition. We added INE Plus Nutrition supplements into our daily routine about a year ago. Our favorite is their Super Greens powder that delivers the gut healing, energy-inspiring effects of superfoods like ginseng, spirulina, wheatgrass, alfalfa, and so many more. Seriously, we would never have the time, energy, or patience to source and consume all of these herbs, vegetables, and green foods every day. So we love that INE Plus Nutrition has done all the hard work for us.
All we have to do is shake with some water and ice and enjoy. The best part? All of INE Plus Nutrition's products are manufactured in Canada, third-party tested, CGMP, FDA, and NSF certified, so you can feel good about what you're consuming. Try it for yourself by visiting them online at inenutrition.com and use code RMX10 for 10% off at checkout. And now, back to the show. Okay, we are back. So briefly, we mentioned in your bio that you are a flight attendant.
I am.
In addition to being a foodie and a chef and a cookbook author. Sounds like a pretty harmonious working situation to us. I mean, it's kind of best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But we want you to take us through the process. How do you plan your culinary excursions when you're on a stopover?
Okay, so every stopover has a culinary excursion.
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Every, especially, I have to say, the prices of groceries in this country right now are not it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I do love bringing stuff from all over the world. So
Ooh, smart.
let's say now for December, my trips are going to be to London and Paris. So let's say I land in Paris and I take a nap, like a 3-hour nap, have my coffee, and right there I head into a market, head into a grocery store, and I have a list of things that I want to bring back home. Markets are my favorite, especially the markets in Barcelona are huge, are fantastic. You talk, I think one of my favorite things is talking to the people that are working the stalls, and then you hear the story. Probably the cheese comes from a farm that is literally like from the 1830s. That's one of the places that I went the last time. And just the quality of the food is just beautiful and fresh. So yeah, going to a market and spending 2 hours there has to be my favorite thing. So
What's
lively.
on the list? Cheese, obviously.
If I go, I have,
Cheese,
exactly,
definitely.
cheese for sure. So if I go by different countries, so if I go to Barcelona, the list is going to have saffron. It's going to have really good quality olive oil. Manchego is my
I love
favorite.
Manchego.
Manchego is the base. And then also, even when it comes to olive oils, they have this like smoked olive oil and like saffron infused olive oil. Like, so the list is endless. Paprika, smoked paprika is really huge in Spain. And then when I go to Paris, we're not allowed to bring butter, which makes me really sad.
Oh, really?
Why?
They don't let you export the butter? Is it at the
It's
airport?
still
or
something
no?
to do with Ontario Dairy or something like that.
Oh,
God damn it.
But
There's
butter-
a monopoly. They're like,
So
we
I
don't want your
have literally
Parisian
bought
butter.
butter and sat in my room with a baguette and just like
Oh my
because
God. I
I'm
need to
just like-
accompany you on these trips so I can
Yeah.
sit with you and eat
smoked,
a
smoked.
It's
Imagine
like the best
this,
meal.
and the same with butters, it's just not plain. So smoked sea salt butter, sesame, whatever,
God.
everything. So from there, I'll buy a lot of cheese and I'll buy wine, skincare. Sorry, it's
Oh,
not
yeah,
grocery
skincare
related,
for
but
sure.
skincare.
yeah.
And then from Lisbon, sardines and tinned fish and.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. I love that about my job because it goes hand in hand. I bring all of these ingredients and then I come home and that same night I'm creating a beautiful meal. This summer I went a lot to Rome, so a lot of pasta, fresh pasta, dry pasta, Parmigiano, olive oil, pistachio butter, limoncello.
Every time she says butter,
We're like,
it's like a trigger for us.
I know, doesn't
where
take
are the
much.
snacks?
Yeah.
Like, give me something.
We should have
We need
snacks.
to know.
I know, we
Can you
should have
imagine?
snacks
That's
for
when
this
we'll be
episode.
coughing and like things will not be
And we'd be
good.
choking in the microphone.
But yeah, Italy for food is just
Doing all the things we think are annoying at home.
yeah.
Ew, I can hear you chewing.
Yeah.
For the world
You're,
to hear.
you're breathing too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I love that. That's my favorite. So I bring my extra satchel and I pack with groceries.
So do you
and
have to
then-
check the bag?
So we don't check the bag. We have a carry-on and then we have like a satchel. So if I know that it's gonna be a big grocery, I not only bring my carry-on with just like my outfit for that day and then extra space even in my lunch bag to bring stuff out. We don't have to check it. We do
Okay.
have like in our galleys, there's like refrigerated units and
Oh,
then we
nice.
put it there.
I do have a question though for you offhand
Okay.
about that. Since, like, what do you think about airplane food then? Because it's
No.
pretty
Of
fucking
course
bad.
not.
Like-
If you're on a flight, no, if you're
Could
on
it
a flight,
improve? Like, why can't it improve? Is it because of how it's like prepared beforehand and
I
delivered?
think it's just prepared beforehand, and you know most of the airlines pair with a pretty renowned like national chef, and they are okay. Some dishes are better than others. Some are very high in salt because when
Mhm.
you're up in the air for some reason you can't taste salt as much. So these things,
Oh.
if you were to eat airplane food on the ground, it'll be super salty.
Really?
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
super
That is
salty.
fascinating.
We don't taste, and some people start craving like tomato juice for some reason. Your sodium.
There's always
Kinda-
somebody drinking a tomato
Yeah.
juice.
Clamato,
But
yeah,
you know, but you
absolutely.
know what is the weirdest thing when people ask you, can I have a tomato juice and can I have a tea with milk? And I'm like, are you
Get it?
kidding me?
At the
Like
same
at
time.
the same time,
That's disturbing.
the things I hear. But
Tomato juice can be served with a side of vodka, and that's
yeah,
it.
That's it,
exactly.
I
Or gin.
And for me,
absolutely.
it will be clamato. I'm not a tomato juice kind of
Clamato
person.
is
Yeah.
important because it's got that umami.
Exactly.
Yes, I
that like
agree.
in spicy.
Yeah.
So it's.
And even those like croissants sometimes that they give you in the morning,
They
they're
are
like
not a
cold and hard. You're like,
croissant.
ew, why is
They
this
are
in
not.
plastic?
So
Like,
what I
gross.
do is that I prep my meals.
You
I
do?
make
Okay.
if I have, let's say for these London flights, I leave at 8. I try to eat before I leave home, but I'll have like a little snack of like dry fruit and
Yeah.
I don't know, cheese or whatever.
I usually buy my stuff at the airport because it's better.
and then I even make a meal refrigerated for my flight bag.
Yeah.
Which it can be whatever, even leftovers or something, but I try not to eat. Imagine doing this job and having like 4 overseas flights a month and eating airplane food in and out.
No.
No.
It's just not
You'd feel
good.
so.
Yeah, but if it's on a flight, enjoy it. Have a glass of champagne.
I just usually drink on flights.
Yeah, have a glass of
I know,
champagne,
me too.
liquid meal,
Watch a movie.
gin and
It's like the
tonic.
only
That's
time
my-
I
I
watch
always love a gin and tonic on a
Gin
plane.
and tonic. The only thing is that I choose movies is like by clockwork that make me cry, and then
Oh.
I look like not great when I'm landing. My mom
You're
is like,
all
"What were you
swollen."
watching?" And I'm like, "That I don't know, something like crazy." Yeah,
Like, it was so good. I loved it.
yeah.
Okay, so tell us what country's approach to food resonates with you the most.
Definitely, my own country, Dominican. Everything is literally farm to table. You don't see processed foods like you go to the grocery store. I went with my mom like 3 times this week. You rarely see processed foods in carts. So lots of fish, lots of produce, and also Europe, Italy. Like when you taste a bruschetta in a piazza in Italy, it's not going to taste the same.
The
than
tomatoes
here.
alone.
The tomato. That's
the
my
olive
point.
oil.
Yeah,
The
all
tomatoes
of it, the
alone, you know, they were the creators of the slow food movement, which everything has to be grown like just, you know, X kilometers away, not a lot, not more than 100 for sure.
Mhm.
So the olive oil is probably the best thing you'll try in your life. The tomatoes can be eaten as an apple and basil. And I'm like, but how is this, you know, bruschetta? So those countries place a lot of importance in the quality of their food.
Yeah.
Italy
And-
banned a lot of stuff too,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
And you know
Like,
what's
there's-
really, really great is to see I have friends that are like gluten intolerant and we go to Europe and
Yeah,
they can
they're
eat
fine.
absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrea just
Yeah.
did the same. She
Yes.
had our friend. She had a
Exactly.
lot of health issues and she couldn't digest a lot of things here. She
Yeah.
couldn't eat tomatoes here, nothing.
Yeah.
Went to Italy, everything was fine. She could eat anything she wanted.
Europe in general, they approach food. As I said, I don't see any guilt there. Mind you, I don't
No.
live there, but
Mhm.
when I visited enough and people eat pasta every day, it's about the portion of the pasta they're eating. It's
The
not
portion
pasta.
and like they're walking around
they're
everywhere.
walking around.
It's not processed. It doesn't have a lot of like long shelf life. It make-
Exactly.
like when I go to Greece, I feel
Mhm.
like I pig out and I somehow lose weight.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're
Yeah.
walking, you're eating
Yeah.
things that are, you know, not processed at all.
Yeah.
So I think I would say Dominican in any place in Europe, pretty much. But I think the walking is important. The walking is
always with the walking after dinner. It's like such a normal thing there.
Yeah, and I think just the eating with family too.
Yeah.
So it's like a circle. It's like the circle of life.
Yeah,
or something
totally.
like that. Yeah.
We always walk for ice cream.
Yeah. Oh,
like after dinner, a walk to ice
so
cream
nice.
is like.
What's your favorite ice cream?
I'm a simple chocolate ice cream gal.
Too.
I love gelato.
Like just a chocolate ice cream cone. There's actually, I live near like Dundas and Ossington.
Okay.
And there's a little shop there called Lucky's Exotic Bodega.
Okay.
And it just has like candy from all over the world.
Oh my gosh.
I know
need to
exactly
go.
which one you're talking
Lucky's
about. I've spent a
Bodega.
lot of money on it
My
with
kids
my
are
son.
gonna love this
Yeah, they're
information.
gonna love it.
Oh,
Isabella.
you
And
will
it's like
love
they
it.
like blast hip hop there all day
Oh
long.
my
It's
gosh.
amazing.
They have the coolest shit.
But then if you go to the back, they
Okay.
have like a little ice cream pop up. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's still there in the winter, but they do hard serve, but then they just process it through a soft serve machine.
Are you kidding me?
And that is the best because it's like when you're a kid
It's
and you
actual
mash
soft
up
serve.
hard ice
Yeah, no,
cream.
tomorrow I have to be in that area. I am going
there
to
you go.
Go and
That's
see. I don't know if they
amazing.
still have ice cream,
But at
I don't know
least
if it
just
was a
like for the
summer thing.
candies
Oh, yeah.
and stuff like that.
sure. But yeah,
Because
go pick
my
up
kids are into that stuff.
Fun, crazy candies. And then you can pick a candy and have them put it into the ice cream.
Why haven't more people thought of this idea? Like this is
Or
genius.
cereal.
Because
or
soft
whatever.
serve on
Yeah.
it, like actually soft serve is pretty gross. Like
Yeah.
what's in there,
Yeah,
but
it's
like
just
I think
plain. It's just
Yeah.
like, why are you giving me this
it's
vanilla
lard though. Like
wannabe
it's not even
thing?
good
Yeah.
ingredients.
No.
No, but they just scoop the
Yeah.
Like the
hard
real
ice
ice
cream
cream.
into it and then like push it through
I
this
love
machine
it.
that turns it
That's
into
Yeah,
soft
amazing.
and
serve.
for me, like the more chocolate, the better.
Me too.
Yeah.
I would totally have that dipped in chocolate
Yeah,
and
like
like,
right
rolled in
now.
peanuts any day of the week.
Anyways, a little
We're like,
ice
where
cream
are we
tangent.
going?
I know my mouth is literally watering.
Me
Yeah.
too. We're gonna have to eat so bad after
Yeah.
this.
Okay, so we talked about food and travel.
Yes.
But what is your approach to food at home? And have your kids inherited your love for food as well?
Yes, they have. And in a very, like, they both took their own time. Yeah, because I've been obsessed with food since the early 90s. Every time that I go to the grocery store, I used to plan my meal, especially around pandemic times. You had to plan and see what you were buying. But we always have a pantry stocked with like our essentials, the proteins in the fridge that we know, so that when we feel like we don't know what we're going to eat, there's something there to eat.
Yeah.
And it's always, anything I cook has to have some influence from around the world, either in spices, either in like the noodles that that we're cooking with. So it's not going to be like your meat or fish and potatoes kind of thing that is boring and is bland. I'm a pescatarian. I've been a pescatarian since I was 24, but the rest of my family...
We're mostly pescatarian. Too.
Yeah, the rest of my family eats meat. I cook it. They have to check, like, is this done? Because I'm not going to buy into it. But yeah, it's honestly, it's like a meditation. It's beautiful. It brings me joy. It calms me down. It's simple stuff, because this is my thing. I love cooking, but I do believe that, and not to sound like Rachel Ray, you can have something in 30, 35 minutes on your table.
Totally.
Like, as much as I love it, I do not want to spend 2 hours cooking in the kitchen, because I have my kids that I want to spend time to.
Yeah.
I want to just like lay in bed and read a book. So I'm
You
not
can
going
do a
to
lot in 30 minutes.
yeah,
though, I feel
exactly.
like.
So a lot. I'll give you an example. One of the meals that we cook at home, probably weekly, I do like this maple soy glazed salmon. While that is roasting in the oven, there are sweet potatoes roasting in the oven too. And
Yes.
while all of that is roasting, I'm making a salad. That is
Right.
25 minutes
Yeah.
right there. And when
Well,
it comes,
throwing everything in the oven is a great way to do it too.
That's something good. And then my kids, they both started cooking at different ages. Isabella is obsessed with making like pasta sauces, really good at pastas, really good at Asian flavors. And Gabby's like more Middle Eastern flavors. And she was sending me pictures of what they were doing at home when I was in Dominican. And I'm like, where is this food when I am at home?
No, because when you're at home, babe, they have a
Exactly.
chef mama
Exactly.
that they want
And
you
I'm
to
like,
cook
we
for
made
them.
this ramen with this and that. And I'm like, perfect. Then yesterday they made food for when we came back, and it was beautiful.
Aw.
So yeah, garlic mashed potatoes, salmon, this salad. But I'm like, I want the miso stuff. Like,
But
give
like,
me,
just to
give
say,
me the
like,
ramen.
Yeah.
We were saying how it's a love language. Like, that's the thing.
is.
It's like you cooking for them and then
Yeah.
them cooking for you. Like, what a
Yeah.
beautiful gift that is.
It
Like
was
an
beautiful,
exchange.
and
Yeah.
nothing felt like better than last night
Yeah.
arriving after
Oh,
eating
that's so
airplane
nice.
food. and having like that.
That's so nice.
And
I
letting
hope
your
our
kids
sons
do
can do
that?
that for
Oh
us
my
one day. That would be
God.
glorious.
We have to train them.
Yes.
You do. And you know what? One of the things is just like, even if they're not helping
them
you
involved.
chop something, like have them around in the kitchen. Sometimes you don't want to have them, like, let's
So
be
usually
real.
I'm like, can you go?
Exactly. Can you go? But yeah.
Too many chefs in the
It's
kitchen.
not exactly, but just if they see you once in a while, because, and also kids come around it at
They
their
want
own
to
time.
though. They also like
Yeah.
are curious about it. Or they want to
Yeah.
help you stir stuff, or they
Yeah.
want to add the spices. Like
Yeah.
it's fun too. Like,
And
it's
the
kind of
reality
playful.
is sometimes by necessity, because like Gabby wasn't cooking a lot before they started university, and now all of a sudden, if I'm not there and I'm on a flight, they have to cook. So it's also
Right.
that. But now they have the base. They've seen you. How do you do?
They've
like
seen it
certain
and they've
things.
tasted it, so they
And
don't
they've
want mac
tasted
and
it.
cheese.
Exactly.
Like,
they do not.
Yeah,
So yeah.
amazing.
I love that. We got to get on that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
love that.
can you give us and our audience some practical tips for parents on how to help kids develop that experimental approach to food? How do you get
Yeah.
them involved? Like, what if your kid is not into it?
Yeah. First of all, I'll say like it's hard, but do not stress about it, because that's it. They can sense your stress and they can sense the pressure that you want them to try that. And the moment that you want them, they know. It's like we're all
That's
like, you want me
true.
to do something, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah,
just
Or if you want
because.
them to try something new,
Exactly.
they're like, no.
So
hate
I
sweet
think,
potatoes.
you know,
Fair.
like in the case of my kids, and I'll tell you about, you know, other people's kids, obviously, but in the case of mine, we lived all over the place. We lived in Dominican, we lived in Mexico City, we lived here. So they were always exposed to, you know, many kinds of food. But luckily for us, we live in Toronto. Toronto has one of the best scenes
True.
for food in the world. So there's always, you can make it fun, like a kind of excursion. Every
Mhm.
Sunday, we're going to do something different. And every Sunday, we're going to try. It doesn't have to be a restaurant. It can be a snack. It can be whatever. Let's see how this tastes.
Even different neighborhoods. like,
Exactly.
checking
Different
out-
neighborhood. Like,
Yeah.
let's see how this tastes. And just present it to them, so at least they know these things exist.
Oh, that's true.
You know what? If they don't see it, if it's out of sight, and if you're cooking the same thing, and if you're taking them to the same restaurants, and we all know that some kids are like fixated with chicken fingers, that's all good. Do not take stuff away from them that they like. Just have stuff available that they can try.
Yeah,
all the
like put it
time.
on the table, let them see
Yeah.
it.
You know, I come from a mom who's like a hardcore feminist. It's like, if you don't eat it for breakfast, you're gonna eat it for dinner, kind
Right.
of thing, right? But it's more for them to know that that is there, that is delicious. Try it. If you don't try it, you don't know what you're missing. So I think it's have it available, have them try it to see if they like it, because no one can know how something tries. Like,
Well, and
they
if you
don't-
say
Yeah.
like you can try it and not like it,
exactly,
that's totally
fine.
okay.
Exactly.
Because sometimes kids have this thing with like what it looks like or
Yeah,
texture. I remember my son
exactly.
didn't want to try sushi, but I'm like, you like all the components though.
Exactly,
You like
like
seaweed,
rice,
rice,
exactly.
all the things.
Just see
You
how
just
it is.
didn't like the way it looked.
Exactly.
So it's just about try it and you'll see.
Try
now
it and
he's
you'll
obsessed,
see. Know
obviously.
that it's available.
Yeah.
Explain to them, you know, like how probably it was made, and that is something really cool that they eat here or there. But yeah, just they need to know that we are in a country or in a city that is super multicultural, and that is pretty cool and fantastic that
It
we
is.
have all of these restaurants from all over the world. Some cities don't have it. Like,
Mhm.
make them excited about the fact
Yeah.
that, you know, there's so much coolness in trying foods
Yeah,
from
true.
around the world. Do you like to travel? Well, guess what? If we go to this country, you're not gonna find this, but you're gonna find that.
Right.
Yeah, I will say that.
Yeah, I like the idea of offering them what you know they're going to like
Yeah.
in addition to something to try.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
they'll always have the fallback of like
Yeah.
the chicken fingers or the
Yeah.
rice or whatever it is that they
Yeah, because the
feel
thing is that if
comfortable
you
with.
take that away, I've seen parents say, "Well, if you don't try this, then you're not gonna eat this." So
Then they don't eat
now-
anything.
Now you're not gonna have them, and now they're going to resent you. And
Yes.
now
It's a
it's
threat
all
now.
downhill. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally fair. Well, we have some rapid fire questions
God.
for you.
My favorite.
Oh no, I just got off a
He
plane.
said, "I'm jet lagged."
They're not that rapid.
No,
you
no,
you can
no.
take a
Okay,
take a
I can
beat.
take a minute. Okay, tell me, I'm
Okay,
game.
outside of sopa de camarones.
Uh-huh.
Nice job.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you.
good.
Thank you. What is your go-to comfort meal?
Pasta all
That's
the time.
what we said
That
too.
was ours.
That was our
Pasta.
because it's like the if you don't know, you
Yeah.
can put anything in pasta.
Pasta, especially one that Isabella makes with like tomato sauce, wine base, like the simplest thing,
Lots
but
of parm.
super al dente, inordinate amount of power.
Yeah.
Like so much. Yes, that.
Okay, fair. Same also. The one spice you cannot live without.
Sumac.
Sumac.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
sumac.
Interesting.
on
I don't think I
everything.
use that enough.
I don't think
Yeah.
I do either.
Yeah, love sumac on fish, on roasted potatoes, on veggies, on
okay.
everything. Love
Yeah,
sumac.
roasted. Okay.
On apple toast. It's really good. In satire, both of them. Sorry. It was one, but it was like
Satar's
two.
good.
Satire is good. Yeah.
How do you take your coffee?
I take it with 2 milks and a teaspoon of maple syrup.
Ooh.
Half a teaspoon, I'm trying to, but yeah.
We're honey gals.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
put honey in our Americanos
For
because I find
always?
it. Yeah,
Forever.
I find it cuts the bitterness without making it too sweet. Not too much
Yeah.
honey, but
Okay.
sugar makes it really sweet.
Okay.
Where like
Yeah.
honey cuts the.
I'm going to
thing.
try that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make an experiment.
Just don't do
at
too
home.
much because then
No,
it's like
no.
Yeah.
Just like, do you have a honey in particular that you like? Any honey?
Well, I mean,
like a raw
fancy
honey.
Greek honey makes
Oh.
me really happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just any
Whatever,
kind
the
of
one
honey.
that comes in the
That's
bear.
trick. Yeah, exactly. The bear one.
bear
I like
the
those
honeycomb
the,
one.
the harder ones. Those
Yeah.
like raw
Yes.
ones. Those are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but she does it just black with honey, and I do it with honey and cream because
Okay.
it's like a dessert.
Yeah, for
But
me
that is
too.
a nice
It's a
dessert.
treat.
It's the best. That is a love language for me. Coffee.
Coffee,
Me
us
too.
too. Yeah.
The smell of it. My
Yeah.
family is coffee obsessed. I feel like
Oh.
that's a Jamaican thing
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But like that was such a big thing in my house growing up,
Yeah.
and the smell of coffee in the morning.
The
Oh,
smell of
it's
coffee,
so
that's what I was
comforting.
trying to explain my husband. He's like, he doesn't drink coffee. Of course,
Mm.
he's missing about one of the biggest joys in life. But like, it's just like the smell is like a hug.
Absolutely.
It
And now
is.
that I was back home, my mom was bringing my coffee to
Oh.
bed. I was like, I don't
Oh.
want to leave. Yeah.
It's
That's
the
a beautiful
comfort in
thing.
it.
It
Yeah.
is.
That's a
Absolutely.
beautiful thing. What meal do you make when you have 15 minutes to get it done?
Hold
Also
on.
pasta?
Also pasta. 15 minutes to get it done. Yeah, probably pasta, to be quite honest. Like when I come from Rome, I have already like fresh pasta with
Right.
like
And that
everything.
cooks so fast.
Yeah,
It
and that
does.
cook
Even the
fast.
sauce, if you were to make it
That,
from
or I
scratch.
will say shrimp and vegetables and stuff like that, because that's stir fry easy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a little green salad on the side.
Little
Yeah.
salad.
Little salad on
Don't
the
forget
side.
the salad.
Don't forget salad.
I have, like, in Dominican is salad, lunch, and dinner. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot of salad. And it doesn't have to be the fanciest salad, but I do like my
I like
nuts,
it
goat cheese,
Right.
pecorino. Like you have to make them.
Right.
You have to put some bling on that
Yeah.
salad.
Yes.
You need to do
A little
something.
bling on the
No
salad.
tomato, onion, and lettuce will do.
I'm going to think of you whenever
Yeah,
I
you
add
have
bling to
to.
my salad.
Please, please.
Best neighborhood to eat in Toronto.
Ooh,
That's
the
tough.
East End people are gonna
I
like
know.
kill me.
Uh-oh.
I find on Ossington there's
Yes,
a lot
there
of
is a
good
lot.
stuff.
That's my hood.
Ossington, there's a lot. Actually, I'm going there tomorrow to try bar clams.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna go there. The Good Fork is one of my favorite places.
Yeah.
Pasta Forever. Like, yeah, Ossington and Dundas area, actually, I will say. Yeah.
I think Kensington's good too. I'd like to
Kensington
throw
is
that in the
great.
pot because that's a great place to go and just try different kinds of foods.
Yeah.
They have great
Oh, yeah.
Mexican
True.
food there.
And every time I
Yeah.
go, I'm like, why am I not here more?
I
Like,
know.
does that
Yes,
happen
totally.
to you?
Yeah.
Well, we used to live closer to it before, and we used to actually grocery shop there all the
There.
time because it was way
It's the
better.
best.
the produce
produce-wise.
is good.
Yeah.
I do have to say, the East End has some great gems. Like,
Yes,
we
it does.
love Lake Inez.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah. I feel like the East End has always been pretty food forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
But
You just have to know your spots.
Dundas and
Yeah.
Ossington, it's like so
Well,
Yeah,
it's
concentrated.
it's like a
saturated. Yeah,
mecca.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
everything's there in
Love
one
it.
spot.
Love
Yeah.
it. You can walk from one place.
And Super
I
Point
know.
Pizza is one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
So
Can you
good.
believe I've never tried Super
Oh my god, you
Really?
need to try it, and you need to try their Caesar salad because it has
Is it good?
hickory sticks on top.
How about Badiali?
I love Diala, the
Okay,
vodka
yeah.
pie.
Yeah, the
all the
vodka one
time.
is like, I live
Vodka
one
is
block
the-
from there, so I can smell it.
Look at her face.
You're
Is in
like,
the right
okay, let's all
direction.
move. Never mind the East End, we're moving.
Everybody,
beside Buddy Alley.
please
Wow,
come.
Super Point. Okay.
Yeah, Super Point's a good time too. The kids love it.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's great.
It's a
That's
good
where
place
Oscar
for the
tried
kids.
Caesar salad for the first time because of the hickory sticks. He wouldn't try it for the longest time, and then he's like,
a
"It's
game
pretty good."
changer.
I'm like, "It was the fucking hickory
Yeah,
sticks."
exactly. It's a game
It's like-
changer.
Hickory sticks on Caesar salad is
What a good
brilliant.
idea instead of
Yeah.
croutons.
Yeah. You know what my kids love? If when I make avocado toast for
Yeah.
them, if I just like mash some Miss Vicky's original chips.
Yes.
Like
oh,
just
that's
like
genius.
3 or 4 chips, like a quick
That's
squeeze.
it.
Because it gets you the crunch, it gets you the salt.
Oh, that's so
like,
satisfying. They
on
must
the
love
avocado.
that.
You guys
They're
are
like, we're
killing
eating
me.
chips.
You are killing me right now. I have a coffee with my 2 meals and half a table of whatever I put. Like, I am just.
Have you been to
so
Lambo's
hungry.
over here? It's really close.
I haven't been to
You
this
should
one. I've
go
been
there.
to the other one.
Yeah, for a sandwich or a wrap if you're
Okay.
hungry after this.
I've
Because
tried
it's
their
like
tuna.
packed with. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go.
Anyways.
Okay, your last rapid fire question.
So not rapid fire because we like spiral
Okay,
every
exactly.
time.
We just like these have been like
It's food.
Slow burn
Okay.
questions. When you think of your childhood, what meal comes to mind first?
rice and beans. Honestly, rice and beans. Dominican is fusion rice and beans and
Fried plantain.
fried plantains on the side. So a typical meal will be rice and beans. Back in the day, I used to eat chicken, so probably some kind of like grilled chicken, rice and beans, salad with avocado always, and fried plantains. And
Sounds
that
delicious.
is just, yeah, they call it the Dominican flag. It's like
The Dominican flag.
exactly the standard thing. Yeah, and it's. Now that you ask me for that, like, not only was I thinking of that, but I was thinking of the whole thing. I was thinking my grandparents at the table. It's just, food is love.
See, it is love, and
Food
it
is
brings
love,
all
and
those
it's
memories
memories.
back.
Totally.
It's memories.
was-
It's like,
There's something about like your sense of smell is the most like that'll bring you back to that point in time.
Yeah.
So you can like I can smell my grandmother's kitchen, or like
exactly.
you know exactly what those things smell like,
Yeah.
and then you can remember your childhood.
yeah,
through
for
that.
me, like
how
the smell of
incredible.
cilantro, the moment that I taste like cilantro from the fridge, it's just like I'm transported to Dominican
Wow.
because they really use it. There's like 3 kinds of cilantro and they really use it in everything. So yeah, it's just beautiful, and sharing food with people that you love just
Yes.
like tastes better. So,
Absolutely. I
It
know.
really does.
My mom
Yeah.
has been batch cooking
yeah.
probably since the pandemic started, or maybe a little
Yeah.
bit before. But she batch cooks like all of our childhood
Oh,
favorite meals, like
So
really
important though for your
classic
kids
Caribbean
too.
stuff too.
good.
Oh my god, it's the
and
best.
for
Her
them,
mom's
for
a
your
great
kids,
cook,
yeah, and
too.
for them to be, for your kids to be exposed to that, a part
Absolutely.
of you, which is a part of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's more than that. It's not like just only a meal. It has history.
Well, and
Yeah.
we're all so diverse.
Yeah.
Like the fact that your kids can try that, and my kid eats like
Yeah.
Armenian food and
Yeah.
Polish food,
Yeah.
and your kids have
Yeah.
like. There's so much there,
There's
right? You're
so
not
much
just eating
there.
meat and potatoes and like.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're teaching them about
Yeah.
themselves.
So I
Yeah.
feel
Absolutely.
for, you know, I feel kind of not bad or sorry, but it's just like for kids that don't try, that you're missing out.
Totally.
Anybody that doesn't
Yeah.
try food from around the world is missing out. And with the cookbook, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do just something that included foods from around the world and stories of what those foods were important and
Yeah.
dishes.
We're
I
gonna
love
need
it.
that cookbook. I'm gonna get that cookbook.
Yeah. We're gonna plug it at the end.
You can
Okay, we're going to pause here for one last quick break. And when we get back, we'll play a round of our favorite game, overrated or underrated. So stay right there. This episode is brought to you in part by Adriana Pietropaolo Design. APD is a boutique, Toronto-based interior design studio that creates spaces that are intentional, meaningful, and inspiring. There is no better time than the present to invest in yourself and your space. Book a 2-hour in-person design consultation with Adriana today for expert advice on anything you need for your home or business space. Renovation costs, furniture layouts, millwork design, window treatment, material selections, color selections, sourcing recommendations, and so much more. APD will make sure to leave you with rapid-fire design advice, tangible takeaways, and a clear roadmap to take toward your short and long-term design dreams. I did this when I moved into a new house last year, and Adriana's tips and advice were so helpful. I truly couldn't have done it without her. Visit her online at adrianadesign.ca, that's Adriana with 1 N, or email her directly at hello@adrianadesign.ca. You won't regret it. And now, back to the show.
Okay, so we are back.
Okay.
Are you ready to dive into our little game? So we're just gonna spit out random
Okay.
topics, and you just tell us if you think they're overrated, underrated. You can put in your 2 cents if you like.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll have like
I will
comments.
always put my 2 cents.
Okay, ready?
Same.
Okay.
Okay, The Bear, as in the show.
Underrated. I love The Bear.
It's a great show.
I love it.
I
It's
agree.
great.
It's such a good show.
Yeah, it's incredible. Especially season 3. I mean, people hated it, but I love it.
I like it.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's
Yeah,
really good.
I love it.
something about the way like the kitchen and their team, like it seems really raw and real.
Yeah, raw, real. There was a lot of conversation. I think people didn't want the emotional part of it. People just wanted the more like rah, 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 you know, like banging pots and stuff. But yeah, love it.
Okay, MSG.
Underrated.
Okay.
Underrated because I think back in the 60s and the 70s, it got put at this very, very bad for you thing. There was a lot of like racist connotations when it came to MSG, everything in moderation. And yeah.
Doesn't it have a lower sodium content?
It has a lower sodium. That's what they were saying. It just came with a lot of like racialized background.
Totally, yeah.
Back in the day when it was happening. So like everything, salt, even sea salt is one of the best things for us. It's just about not overdoing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instant noodles.
Underrated.
Yeah?
Yeah. Why not instant noodles? Like that's it. When it comes to food, like just like bring it on.
She's like, do it all.
You know, bring it on.
Delicious.
Will I have them every day? No.
Yeah.
But you know, I've tried the momofuku ones. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, true.
so-
Maybe not like the crappy ones.
Yeah.
There's
the
a time
crappy
and place for the crappy
exactly.
ones.
But let's say that's all you have.
That's
Enjoy
true.
it.
Or if you're like not feeling great
Yeah.
and
Or
you
you're on
just
the plane.
want something hot,
Listen, my kids, when they don't feel great, they don't want any homemade chicken soup. They want like Lipton's.
Lipton, same, my
Oh,
kids.
and
but
with
the
a
sodium
toast.
helps them to hydrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Like, sometimes you need it.
okay.
Cilantro.
Underrated. The more cilantro, listen, if
She
there
is
was a
made
cilantro,
of cilantro.
I am the underrated person. If there was like a cilantro ice cream, I will go for it.
You would.
You know what?
yeah,
though? I
like
feel like that
cilantro
could be
lime.
good.
Oh,
Can you
cilantro
imagine that?
lime.
Like a granita kind of thing?
And cilantro's divided for people because a lot of people don't like it because it
know.
tastes
Apparently
different
it's a
for
gene,
them.
I
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it a gene or are you just like a hater?
Well,
And
that's
you
what
just
makes
don't
it
like
soapy.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what makes you feel some people it tastes like pennies.
Yeah.
And like
well,
that kind
I'm
of
sorry for those people. Sorry, people.
Well, Alex and I were talking about cilantro earlier too, and we're like, we're not of the camp that like we can't go near it,
yeah.
but we don't like seek it
You
out.
don't
We don't
Crazy.
use it a
Okay,
lot.
but
But
at
if
least you're middle ground.
Yeah,
Yes.
and if I went to somebody's house and they
Yeah.
made a cilantro laden meal, I would eat it.
So
Yes.
if I have you over, no
Yes.
cilantro.
Or
no,
go
no,
light on
no.
the
I would do.
cilantro.
If
Okay.
you had us over, I'd eat
Yeah.
anything.
Just
I'd
eat
fucking
whatever.
eat meat.
I won't do that to you, but yeah, okay.
Okay, keto diet.
Oh my God, overrated.
Overrated.
Like, no diet, no intermittent
I
fasting.
agree with you.
I
It's
am
just
the anti-diet
balance.
person.
Yeah.
It's balance, is choose wholesome ingredients, is eat what feels good to your body and work out.
And
think that's the
actually
other thing.
enjoy it. There's no
enjoy
way
it.
these keto people are enjoying
They are
eating
not.
their like butter with a
They are
side of
not.
bacon.
And you know,
That
I
is
have
so weird.
No,
Like,
and
how's-
I know a lot of friends too, you know, with the latest craze, intermittent fasting, not going to go a lot into it. I know that it's worked for a lot of people and it brings a lot of energy. But my question at the end of all of these diets is it sustainable?
Yeah,
Are you going to
can you
be
do it
doing this when you're
forever?
85?
Yeah.
No,
I
just
think it's
learn how
also
to
like
eat.
figuring out what your body needs might be
Exactly.
like you can't just jump on a fad. Like I know I need
No.
iron and protein, and those are the
Exactly.
things I need to get every day. So I make a
Exactly.
point to get them some way, right?
Yeah.
So it's like figure out what your things are, have
Yeah.
that balance, and like get your
I
nutrients.
remember when
like,
even that intermittent diet came, like my friend was saying, yeah, you can have your coffee in the morning, but you can have it with milk. And
Milk.
I'm like, no.
Forget it. I'm out.
you're like, did you
Like,
just say
absolutely.
how I'm having my coffee?
To have black coffee is something that brings me no joy.
I
So yeah,
can't.
I believe in just, you know, balance gets thrown out. But that is the key. It gets thrown out. It sounds cliche because it's the truth.
Yeah.
Just eat well, work out. And when it comes to working out, as you said, is whatever works for you. Pilates, yoga, whatever.
Yeah.
That's it.
And enjoy.
Okay, Nobu. What is she
I haven't
gonna say?
been to Nobu.
Okay.
I haven't been to Nobu, and I'm pretty sure that it's an incredible restaurant. I do believe that our city has incredible Japanese
Yes,
restaurants that I'd rather
absolutely.
support, like Imanishi and places like that.
Yeah.
I think Nobu part of it is the experience that you're at Nobu and the
Yeah.
actual venue itself
Exactly.
and
That
the
is
service or
beautiful.
whatever,
Yeah.
that whole atmosphere
Exactly.
more so than
But
like because you
do-
can get cheap sushi.
yeah,
That's
and
but-
the
amazing.
miso cod.
And the miso
And the
cod.
miso cod, yes.
I lived in I lived at
You're like, also?
yeah. I lived at a place in Mexico City that did like a very similar. So yeah, I will absolutely at one point go.
Maybe we should go to Nobu.
Yeah, maybe we should go to Nobu and have that.
Date night.
Yes.
Ladies'
let's
night.
go.
That'll definitely get expensed.
Yeah.
Well, a friend of mine went and it was like $700
Oh,
for
yeah,
two
no,
people.
it ain't
So I'm
cheap.
like, yeah, in this panorama, no, I don't think so.
No, exactly.
Okay, sourdough.
Okay, hold on.
Hold on,
don't
because
even
I
know.
love sourdough. Don't
Okay,
kill
no,
me.
I underrated. Like I love sourdough,
too.
but during the pandemic times,
Oh,
I bought
yes.
all of the equipment for sourdough.
Oh.
Like I bought the Dutch oven, and I made like and then it was great because you had to spend 2 days
Right.
making it.
Yes,
you
it
know?
passed
And
the
then
time.
the
Now
pandemic
it's like,
passed,
you
and
know.
like I love it. In the process, it's like really rewarding too. Love sourdough.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
I've been buying it at Blackbird, and like
It's
I
the
can't go
best.
back to
It's
buying
the
regular
best.
bread. It digests easier
With
somehow.
honey and you know how I like it? Goat cheese. You guys like goat
Yeah.
cheese?
Yes.
Goat cheese and a little drizzle of truffle honey
Mm.
and sea salt, smoked, mountain.
Milu has
Mm.
like a starter that is basically that. It's like a
Oh.
very soft French cheese, and then you get a little pot of honey and a little sea salt and like fresh bread.
It's the
Oh my
sea, it's the
God.
sweet
It's so
and the
good.
crunchy of the.
Totally.
It's a whole layering thing.
Yeah, the warmth of the bread.
You guys are the worst. I'm gonna go home and
I
I'm just
know.
gonna like, what's in this fridge?
We're all gonna
Feed me.
leave.
We're gonna have to
hungry.
stop at a bakery.
All our audience too. They're
Yeah.
like pausing,
Yeah.
going to eat.
Going to get a snack.
Canned cocktails.
It depends. It depends. Some people are making really fantastic canned
This
cocktails
is true.
that are not overly sweet.
Mhm.
Evelyn Chick, I don't know if you guys know her. She was a
No.
mixologist at Bar Raval, and now she has a restaurant in
cool.
Parkdale. And when it comes to mocktail, it's not like a lemonade. She actually puts like a seed lip, which is like that gin that
Yeah.
is, so stuff like that. So it depends who's making these canned cocktails.
And it's nice to throw in your backpack.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
on a
Yes.
bike ride
And
or
believe me,
something.
if you're going to the beach and stuff, you're not
Exactly.
gonna bring your cocktail shaker.
Yeah.
So like you said, everything has a time and a place.
Yes.
Although I do love a
So-
nice crystal glass
Yes.
I know.
cocktail.
But
like,
you can
makes
bring the
all
canned cocktail and bring a glass.
That's true.
Do you have a favorite cocktail?
Negronis are a go-to.
I like a
think.
dirty martini.
I like a margarita, but not overly sweet.
I like
enjoy a
margaritas too.
margarita.
margarita with mezcal.
Tequila is
Oh,
the
smoky.
best.
With mezcal and spicy.
I was gonna say spicy.
And
or
with a
not
fry plantain. No, I'm
spicy.
kidding. I'm not like with a fry plantain.
So we're going for margaritas after this now?
I do love
Yeah.
a margarita actually.
yeah.
Me
With
too.
just like a plain salted rim.
Exactly.
It just can't be, like you said, it can't be too sweet.
No,
It's just
no.
gotta be that perfect mix where it still feels
Yeah.
like a
I wish
Okay.
that was the standard because I actually feel like such an idiot saying I want a
Skinny
skinny,
margarita.
margarita.
Yeah.
I hate that it's called that,
overly.
too.
Exactly.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Just how about
skinny
start
latte,
it out
skinny,
like that?
why do we add these names?
Yeah,
But
or you can add sugar.
Yeah.
And then if you want, put a little like
Exactly.
simple syrup on the side and people can adjust.
And if you like mezcal, I recommend it. To
I do
have it
like
with
mezcal.
because it's just
Me too.
smoky. It's a
yeah, it
Now
adds
I want
another
that too.
layer.
Okay, last
Okay.
question. Plant-based meat.
I enjoy it because again, I'm a pescatarian, but vegetarian, pescatarian. It's depending again who makes it. And it is a good option to have for people like me who don't eat meat and I still want a burger.
Yeah.
Will I have that every week? No, because there's still a bunch of
Some
additives
of
and a
it's not
bunch of
good for
things.
you, yeah.
So research where you get it from and
Yeah.
have it occasionally. Like if you're at a barbecue, you're not gonna bring like, I don't know, whatever. Bring your plant-based meat and enjoy it. But not for not for every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Babe, this was so
so
much
fun.
fun.
Did I not look like super like I haven't had sleep?
No,
in 3 days?
No, it's very impressive actually.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
You
for
can tell it's
someone
not
that
your
just
first
flew
rodeo.
in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just so excited.
And she's also talking about food, which is her.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I was
passion.
so excited. Thank you for making it so fun and
Oh my
lively.
God. Thank you.
We'll
for
talk to
being
you
here
guys
with
for forever.
us. Well, tell people where they can find you and more importantly, where they can get your cookbook.
Yes, they can find me at Diala's Kitchen on Instagram and TikTok, though I don't use TikTok a lot because
Neither do we. We started putting
Yeah.
stuff out there now.
Yeah,
We're a little bit
trying.
late.
So yeah, just try it. So Instagram and also my cookbook can be found wherever books are sold. I do encourage people to go to their local indie bookstore
Yes.
before they go anywhere
Good
else.
call.
Grab our book while you're there.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, also you can
Exactly.
grab our books there.
Both books together.
Yeah, exactly. We should sell them as like a
Yeah,
set.
exactly. Let's go pop up.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you both. I loved it.
And thank you to our lovely listeners for tuning in once again to the Rebel Mama Hotline. As always, we would love if you would like, rate, and review this podcast wherever you listen. And feel free to share it with a foodie that you think would love it, or maybe someone that needs to become a foodie.
Yeah, and with your kids too.
with
Your kids can watch this on YouTube.
And
So
cook
they
with
love the
your kids.
YouTube. So if they want to watch this show and like get inspired,
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you soon. This podcast was produced by Space Monkey inside the Soda Studio. The song you're listening to is called Name a Number off the debut album Unrequited by Roshan. Stream it now on Apple Music.